Hello.
Shweta, you can start.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Shweta Gavkar, agriculture graduate, presently working as a technical administration in charge in Nanus Farm, Kewana, Sangam, Goa. As everyone knows that Botanical Society of Goa, in association with Agricos Alumni Association Goa, is conducting free online webinars on every Sunday from past 9 months on different topics of agriculture. So, today's topic is on monsoon flowers, irrigation methods, and seed treatment. First, I would like to welcome session moderator Mr. Miguel Braganza sir, who is agricultural consultant and visiting professor of urban gardening at Dempe College of Arts and Science, Panjim. Also, I would like to welcome speakers for the today's webinar, Ms. Shwetakshi Mishra, Ms. Pooja Fadte, and Ms. Lisa Pinero. So, our first speaker, Ms. Shwetakshi Mishra, is currently pursuing her degree in BSc Biotechnology from Dempe College of Arts and Science, Goa University. She is a meritorious student and actively participates in various national and international events. She has received many honors and prizes in competitions like IITM Pune, National Essay Competitions, International Astronomy and Astrophysics Competition, International Yacht Math Challenge, Power Grid Painting Contest, etc. She has represented Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan and Goa State in the International Science Festival, National Children's Science Congress, Jawaharlal Nehru National Science Exhibition, and Inspire Award. She is also a shot put player and won gold medal in the Mumbai Athletic Meet 2018. Presently, she is a writer in the current science journal and published about 30 science articles, reports, and papers in reputed journals, magazines, and newsletters. Now, she is going to cover on the topic garden flowers in monsoon.
Thank you, Shweta. Just let me present the screen. I hope that the slides are visible.
Yes, dear.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Uh, a very warm good evening to the August gathering present here. Myself, Shwetakshi Mishra, and the topic for today's discussion is garden flowers in monsoon. So, in this session, we shall be discussing about the relation of monsoon and flowers. We'll have a look at different flower varieties which can be grown during monsoon. We'll also have a look at why are flowers necessary in a garden and some of the flower related institutes. To begin with, let's begin with monsoon and flower relation. We know that the water cycle, which is a natural phenomena in which water evaporates and condenses and form clouds and finally precipitates. Now, the duration in which the precipitation occurs is the monsoon season, and in India, it lasts between June to September. Now, monsoon is very important because all the greenery which forms is in this season. And this is the relation of monsoon and the plants. Now, why does this happen? Because the water splashes all over, and all the seeds which were inactivated have got suitable conditions to grow and germinate, and also all those plants which have become inactivated got water, so they become again good for growth. Now, also due to the humidity in the air, these plants can grow very well. But like the nature, we cannot just grow a lot of plants here and there in a garden. It has to be arranged. And if we are going to use flower varieties in a garden, it will look very beautiful. So here we are going to discuss some of the flower varieties which can be grown in the garden during monsoon. The first one is hibiscus. Hibiscus is also called China rose or shoe flower. Now, these flowers blossom throughout the year, but the best time to sow the seeds and allow them to grow is monsoon season. Now, these plants, as we know, they are bushy-like structures having a height of about 2.5 to 5 meters, and usually the flower blossoming occurs after 45 days of sowing the seeds. The hibiscus is a large, huge set of species. Like there are almost 670 known species, depending upon the color, texture, and appearance of the flowers and the other plant parts. So here you can see there are red hibiscus, yellow, orange, blue, purple, and even there are variety or a combination of different colors. For example, there are 2 colors over here. There are even 4 to 5 colors being mixed together. The best thing which we can do in a garden with hibiscus flowers is to graft them all together, so that if we could graft 2 to 3 flowers together, we see that in a plant we get 2 to 3 different colors of hibiscus. So you can imagine how beautiful it would look. So here are some of the varieties of hibiscus which can be grown. The most common one being the Rosa sinensis. So this is commonly found everywhere. Also, there is basalt hibiscus, there's hibiscus mutabilis, which is called cotton rose. And there are many other varieties like black dragon hibiscus is there. There is cheesecake hibiscus. This is called because of the color and the texture, how it looks. So it is named after it. Then there is Hawaiian hibiscus. There is hibiscus subdifera. So this is quite different in look as compared to the other hibiscus. Also, there are hibiscus cocagonus, hibiscus cannabinus, which is a wild variety. There is Luna red hibiscus and bluebird hibiscus as well. So there are different varieties of hibiscus which can be grown. Next, we move on to another type of or another plant variety which can be grown, that is cleome, commonly called spider flower. So these are quite tall and have well-scented flowers. Now, the best time to sow their seeds is the rainy season, and they come in different attractive colors like pink, orange, or yellow, purple. And similar to the hibiscus plant, it requires almost 45 days to blossom. The plant height may range from 1.5 to 5 feet depending upon the variety. Now, here you can see some of the common species of cleome, that is Cleome viscosa, there's Cleome bonifila, then there are Augustifolia and Cleon arabica, which looks very beautiful. Next, move on to one special variety, which is lotus. Now, lotus, as we know, it is the national flower of our country, and it does not grow only on the soil, but rather requires muddy water for its growth. So we can easily grow it in our home gardens as well. Now, we need to follow some of the procedures for it. First of all, we have to take the lotus seeds. Then from one end, we have to cut it slight and then submerge them in water to allow it to germinate. After 15 to 20 days, we can observe that the long plumule or elongated plumule has been emerged. Now, this has to be placed in mud water. So we can use any tray which has a broader end on the top and leave it for around 30 to 45 days. Now, this is quite time consuming, but it gives very good results. Then you can see that the leaves will start appearing, and almost in 2 to 3 months, depending on the variety, the lotus flower can be formed. Now, once this is formed, this can be of multicolors. It can be of white, pink, red, and even rare varieties like blue and purple. And this looks very beautiful in a garden. So here are some lotus varieties. There is Nilambo lutea, there is Vietnamese lotus, there is royal lotus. You can see this is very beautiful. There's Momo botan. Also, there are roseum varieties and tulip varieties of lotuses. The next one is zinnia. So unlike other plants, the size is quite small. It is almost 6 to 12 inches long. But this grows very well in rainy season and is one of the very beautiful flower we can grow in. It also comes in wide array of colors, and here are some of the examples for it. Like we have the giant violet queen, There is Zinnia augustifolia, there is Zinnia elegans, then Zinnia pinca. As you can see, it looks very different from all other of them, but they come under the same Zinnia. Then there are Zinnia hybrids which are formed, so combining 2 to 3 species together, or maybe combining different colors of flowers together forms this. Zinnia profusion is one, then Zinnia volacea is another one. So this can be also grown. Next, we move on to moss roses. So moss roses are creep sort of plants which help in covering the entire garden from ground. Now these are very beautiful because of their green velvet leaves, and there are even studies that some of the varieties of moss roses help to increase eyesight. So if we have a lane in which we allow to grow them and walk around it, there are some studies which suggest that it will increase the eyesight as well. So a lot of research is being going on this. Also, there are about 100 varieties of this, and on the basis of the appearance of the flowers, we can classify them as sun dances or common purslane, which is quite commonly seen. There are moss roses. Also, there's Cooper purple. There's cupcake carrot. So it looks like a cupcake of carrot, hence it is named after it. There are varieties in grandiflora. Also, this one is very beautiful flower because it has one layer of petal with yellow followed by a pop-up of pink color. So it looks like a fairy tale Cinderella. This is named after this. And there is mango mojito as well. Next, move on to another flower variety, that is balsam. Now, balsam are double petaled flowers, and they come in a wide array of colors, like this is red, pink, orange, white, or many others. Now, it requires almost 45 days for this plant to grow up after the sowing of seeds, and the plant height would range between 22 to 60 centimeters. The best part of this plant, which makes it very beautiful, is the spiral arrangements of the flowers and of the leaves, which gives it a unique beauty. So here you can see the different colors, and even their flowers differ widely in their structures. There can be even combinations of colors like this. Next, we move on to most common, that is marigolds. Now, marigolds are one of the easiest flowers which can be grown during monsoons. Even there are areas in which marigold flowers grow on its own even without sowing seeds, because they may be spread somewhere and which allows them to germinate automatically. However, in a garden, if we sow the seeds during the monsoon season, it's very easy to grow them. Now, the marigolds usually have shades ranging from red to yellow in color and sometimes white, but we can also find marigolds in a combination of pink or purple or such shades. Now, it requires almost 2 months for marigold to blossom after the sowing season. And there are two main varieties of marigolds. One is the African marigolds and one is the French marigolds. Now, African marigolds are those which are having compact arrangement of the petals, whereas French marigolds have loosely connected petals. Now, our ICAR has designed some of the varieties of marigolds. The varieties under African marigold include the Pusa Narangi Gandha. Gandha is the marigold, so it is appearing like a giant orange. There is also Pusa Basanti Gandha, which is a giant lemon, and also there is a crackjack variety. When we talk about the varieties of French marigold, there is Gypsy, there is Lemon Drop, and a Pride of India, which is a bright red color marigold. So here we can observe a wide array of marigold colors, starting from red to dark orange, light orange, dark yellow, lemon yellow, and a combination of these. Then there are even white marigolds, and we can also make pink marigolds, dark pink, light pink, purple, dark blue, light blue, and even green colored marigolds can be created. So there is a wide array, and it looks very beautiful in a garden. Next, we move on to another one, which is salvia. So salvia are beautiful flowers, but apart from their aesthetic value, they can be also used in making herbal teas, as it is used as herbs. There are almost 1,000 varieties of salvia across the globe, out of which 700 are known, and almost 90 species are found in the Southeastern Asia. Now, this list is about all the salvia species which are found in India and our neighboring countries. Mostly all are native to China. And of course, these salvia also comes in a different color variety. But it is not that if it is not native, it can't be grown. Proper care and attention can be we can grow salvia as well. So some of the examples include the purple sage, tricolor sage, there is Mexican sage, golden sage, and also there is scarlet sage. So this is like a very beautiful, a fire-like color of this salvia variety. There is also white sage, pineapple sage, and many others. So next we will move on to another variety, which is cosmos. So cosmos flowers are cup-shaped, which resembles very similar to the daisy flowers. Now the height of these plants depend upon the variety, ranges between 15 to 120 centimeters, and the petal number ranges between 5 to 8. It has fern-like appearance. So in these flowers, there are tiny whiskers, which gives it a unique beauty. And also, when we sow them, the time taken for it to blossom right from the sowing seeds is almost 2 months. There are two main varieties. There is Bedens sulphurea and Cossier sulphuriae. So these both varieties can be used, most commonly used for growing. Next, we'll move on to Cape jasmines. So Cape jasmines, they include a variety of jasmine flowers which can be grown in between the mid-spring to summer and in monsoon. These flowers have waxy texture and they usually come in a bright white color, but their shade can vary from white to creamish in color. Now, they can be either single petaled or they can be double petaled as well. They are very beautiful and also they have a great aroma. So usually during late night and early morning, the aroma is very well, which can be spread all over, and it gives a very nice and good feeling. Let's move on to next, that is plumeria, commonly called champa. So these are throughout blossoming plants, but they even blossom in summer, monsoon, and in autumn. Mostly they are whitish in color, but we have pink as well. They also have strong fragrance, and there are 11 known species. The common one which we can find here are the Plumeria obtusa, which is a common champa we often see. Then there is Plumeria rubra, which is a pink colored one. There is Plumeria stenophylla, is Plumeria pudica, and Plumeria stenopetala. So this is because of the small size petals or long elongated petals it has. So these are some of the varieties which can be grown. Next, we move on to another one, which is monsoon cassia. Now, monsoon cassia is not like other varieties we have discussed so far. These are very big trees, which requires a big garden for growing them. And when they are big enough, what happens is during the monsoon season, the leaves shed off, most of the leaves, and the only color which is observable is the yellow color, which is very attractive. Now, the arrangement of these flowers are in a pinwheel manner, which looks very, very beautiful during the monsoon season. Next one are glory vines. Now, glory vines include a lot of vine sort of species, including the morning glory. There are Ipomea species as well. Now, they require partial shade to partial sunlight, but they cannot tolerate a very harsh sunlight as such, but they remain evergreen throughout. Also, they are resistant to bad weather. Now, they come in different shades like pink, purple, white, or in a combination of these, blue one being the rarest. There is also yellow and a combination of these. This look very beautiful if they can be grown in a garden. Now, there are rain lilies. As the name suggests, it blossoms best during the rainy seasons. They are small size plants of about a foot, and they can be grown easily in small or medium sized pots. However, the soil conditions required is slightly acidic for them to blossom. Now, they come in different colors, and due to their beauty, they are also called as fairy lilies. So you can see some of the common colors of this rain lily like pink, red, and there are also rare blue lily and the royal orange rain lily. Finally, we'll move on to one more monsoon variety, which is periwinkle. Periwinkle grows throughout the season, throughout the year, but it grows naturally during monsoon season, and also also blossoms well. Now, we know that the periwinkle is known commonly known by the 5-petal arrangement, and we see usually the rosy pink and the alba species of it. However, there are many other types of periwinkle as well, and all belongs to the genus of Vinca. Vinca means to overcome. So periwinkle is very beneficial for overcoming many diseases like diabetes. So it is named under this genus. There are different sorts like blue and gold periwinkle. So blue is the color of the periwinkle and golden is the leaf. Then there is double purple, there is cranberry color of periwinkles, mist jingle, golden periwinkle, and so on. So far we have been discussing about the different garden flowers which can be grown during the monsoon season. But why is it important? First of all, we have seen the different colors. So the refreshing colors of the garden makes our mind calm and soothing. It helps us in a way to better imagine and analyze ourselves. Sitting alone in a garden would make this happen. So these are important. Also, some of the plants which, some of the flowers which has pleasant smell, which can be spread all nearby, like jasmines we have seen, then we have seen cleome as well. Flowers have been used for religious purposes. They can be also used for economic purposes if grown in a bit large scale, like it can be made into bouquets or any startup companies with having having perfumes or such cosmetics. Then there could be even bioproducts which can be formed. For example, these days lotus extracts are being used in has been added to paints to make it water resistant. So such sorts of importance is also there if we want to earn it from garden. Flowers are used for decorative purposes like marigolds. Apart from our benefits, it is also good for many other organisms like insects or birds which can feed upon the foods. And also, in a way, we are preserving a lot of species. We are making a bond between nature and us by having such beautiful gardens. In monsoon, we have issues with soil erosion. So this could be reduced if the garden is full of plants. It will also maintain air quality. Often there are issues with the indoor pollution and outdoor pollution. So if we have garden flowers or garden plants, then it would reduce it. Some of the plants would also act as herb, as we have seen, the salvia species which were used. So here are some of the flower related institutes. All the task of a bigger level or large commercial level flowering, that is floriculture, is handled by our ICAR Directorate of Floriculture. Apart from India, there are other institutes abroad like Naro Institute of Floriculture Sciences in Japan. There is Institute of Vegetables and Fruits in China. There is Penn State Hux Institute of Life Sciences. So it is a group of institutes in the American continent which works with the flower research as well. In India, we have Jawaharlal Nehru Tropical Botanic Garden and Research Institute in Thiruvananthapuram and the Fragrance and Flavor Department centers in Uttar Pradesh as well. In Canada, there is also Gosling Research Institute of Plant Preservation. So there are a lot of institutes which exclusively work with flowers. And by this, I would like to end my presentation. I hope that I could provoke you to garden more and more flowers. Wishing you a happy monsoon gardening, and thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you so much, Shwetakshi. That was very informative presentation. Now we have